NFC community, happy Monday. Welcome to NFC Now. I believe this is show 11. Is this show 11, Dave?
I put 12 in the summary. I didn't want to bother you and message you. I thought it was 12. I might be completely wrong.
I thought I missed 10. And I thought this was, but I could be wrong. Listen, we'll call it 12. We're going with the NFC CEO and chief promoter. I like that. The CP, the chief promoter. David Oblas. I'm Julian Virgin. Dave, what's up, man? Happy Monday.
Maybe the CFO, whatever you just call me, but the dishwasher on the podcast.
That's
I think you run the show and I'm just a secondhand guy.
Hey man, nah, listen, you held it down last week. I gotta say, man, there was a couple times, and I was tuned in last week, man. There's a couple times last week where you were like, yeah, let me put my Julian hat on real quick. Let me ask some of these real questions, and that, like, a part of me that made me smile a little bit, man. I appreciate that.
Not only that, I did kind of, I don't know what you journalism people call it. I did kind of, introduce it again. We are here live with Trace Harper on NFC Now. He's fighting on Friday, January 20th. So I did kind of like you did and introduce it every here and there.
Indeed, they call it a reset, and it's always a good thing, especially. And I learned it through school. It's like, if you don't, let's just say if like you don't know what to say, or like you just like the person's answer was very long-winded. You just need to like kind of just hit a quick reset. Like, again, here we're joined here by David Oblas here on NFC Now, and then you can kind of get into the next one. It's like a commercial break. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I guess the people that are not watching for the first part, see who this person is and why we're even bothering talking to them
And
in front of millions of viewers.
in front of our millions of viewers that are joining us here on NFC Now, number 12. And yo, you held it down, man. From how you interviewed Kimberly to how you transitioned to everybody coming on. I was like, yo, Dave is a quick learner, man. I love to see it.
Yeah. I was a journalism major at Auburn, but that was also probably before you were born. That was like 1995 to 98. But it was more print journalism, I guess.
Yeah, what made you want to major in that?
I think it was the easiest major. I was a business major and flunked it out at Auburn. So journalism was next. I enjoyed writing. I hated reading. I just enjoyed writing. I enjoyed journalism. I wanted to get in a lot of sporting events for free. So it seemed like journalism was the way to go. So majored in journalism, minored in business.
Definitely the wave. Now, you talk about Auburn. I know in the news here recently, y'all just hired Hugh Freeze as your lead head football coach, man. My man Dion was also his name was thrown out there. I don't know if he got an interview. What are your thoughts about your new head coach?
I know nothing about him. The only thing I know about Hugh Freeze is what is a cell phone? When his cell phone was picked up and he was trying to message a bunch of whores and escorts out there. Like, that's really all I know of him. I don't find anything about him exciting or sexy. Hopefully he does well. I guess he did okay at Ole Miss before he was thrown out. But I wanted Deion Sanders or Lane Kiffin, the Ole Miss coach. That's the two I was rooting for. Or Cadillac Williams, the guy that was just the coach. It looks like he's going to stick around. But I don't know. I really haven't kept up with Auburn football too much in the last few years. But yeah.
I'll say this. One, I thought Cadillac Williams did an amazing job during his interim, and I would just see like little clips. I don't know what it was. I just kept seeing clips on Facebook of like Auburn football and like his speeches, and I was just like, if I was a student, I would love to play for him. Two, Hugh Freeze, kind of like what y'all were talking about last week on the podcast, how Kimberly was one of the girls that would help recruit, and she said she wasn't on the late night shift; she was on the day shift with that. Like, yeah, Hugh Freeze was like basically getting girls for the night shift for those recruits to get there, and that's why he got kicked out of Ole Miss. And three, man, there's just something about Deion Sanders, man, that like he's a magnet. And so I would think that Auburn, being at that opening was there, that would have made sense. But hey, it is what it is.
Have you seen all the people hating on Deion Sanders this week for leaving?
Yeah, you know what? And I could. I don't want to say I could understand the hate. I could see where they're coming from because of what he was doing for HBCUs. Like, he literally put an HBCU on the map in football. Like, Jackson State was getting games nationally televised on ESPN. That never happened before Deion Sanders decided to come here. So that's a big loss to the HBCU community. However, I don't know if anybody's ever been to Jackson, Mississippi, and just Jackson, Mississippi itself, not only just Jackson State, but Jackson, Mississippi is compared to where we live in Atlanta, is a third world.
Yeah.
And that's I'm just being completely respectful. Generally owns property in Jackson, Mississippi. And, like just driving by their facility, and it's like, oh, if anybody else was going to offer him, like I would, if I was Deion Sanders, he'd be a fool not to seriously consider that. So yeah, it's a hit. I could see why people are disappointed because he was bringing notoriety, and he made a lot of changes at Jackson State and bought them a lot of new things, and even brought a lot of attention to the SWAC, to that conference, because we all know how much money football makes. You know how much, you don't maybe not know the exact numbers, but you see how many people are out there at an Auburn game. Just imagine what he was doing for a small HBCU in Jackson, Mississippi. So I could see why people are hating that, because they're seriously losing an icon. Like Deion Sanders is an icon in the community.
Yeah. But at the same time, they couldn't have expected him to stay there forever. I mean, the average lifespan of a student is 4 years or less. The average lifespan of a terrific football player is less than 4 years. So how long do you really expect a hell of a coach to stay there? They knew there wasn't a lifetime arrangement. It was just they were just dating. They weren't married yet. So, he did what he did. He improved the facilities, and I understand they're mad, not only a team but the whole conference, but they should be happy and excited that someone from there is going the next step up. And they should bring in someone just as big.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that stench, like it hurts at first, but then when you look back and you realize what happened, it's a beautiful thing. And yeah, I don't expect him to stay the whole time. I was having a conversation with my stepdad the other day, and I think he falls on the hater side of the spectrum. He was like, at least do like a full 4 years, get a graduating class out, and I understand that, but again, and he went to Colorado, which is a 1-11 team. So I'm sure if he did what he did again at Jackson State next year, he could have. I mean, that Auburn job should have been his. But
I think at Colorado, he's going in with a bunch of losers. They're a 1-11 team. They're a bunch of losers. He's going to recruit like no one else. He's going to bring guys from Jackson over there. And it's not like he's going to Alabama right now, who's 12-2, 11-2, whatever. He's going to a completely gutter football team at Colorado, 1-11, but that has the capabilities of doing better. So no matter what he does, they're going to do better in years 1, 2, and 3 under him. I personally think he's just buying time till Florida State becomes open, Florida becomes open, Alabama becomes open.
He ain't going to Florida. He ain't going to Florida. He's not doing that. Like, that's what he's not doing.
Right. He'll be murdered for that. But Florida State, he's waiting until Florida State opens up, waiting until Alabama opens up. One of those that he could spend the rest of his life at, probably. Colorado is just another pit stop.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at him for taking that opportunity, man. I know we're talking big football, man, but this is the NFC Now Fight Podcast, as it says in the top corner. I'm Julian Virgin. That's David Oblas. We have a wonderful show for you. We're going to be kicking off with Quincy Jones, but before we get to him, we got Quincy Jones. We got his opponent coming up.
Quincy Evans.
Quincy Jones. Wow. Quincy Jones. I'm sorry. Famous Quincy Jones. We have Quincy Evans Jr. coming on the show. He will be taking on Trace Harper January 20th as we go to the district. That's at the district, right?
This one's at Monday Night Brewing.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm meeting with District tomorrow. Stein, the owner, Rich Stein, told me he's a watcher of ours. He's a viewer.
Oh, that's what's up. He's one of the millions.
Tomorrow.
He's
one of our millions. Yeah.
Quincy Evans Jr. will be fighting Trace Harper at Monday Night Brewery for the vacant NFC lightweight title. We'll have Trace and Quincy join us today, as well as Jamal Johnson, and I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing?
Kameeko Hall.
Kameeko Hall, as he takes on Earl McKinney on the 20th. Look forward to that. Before we get to our wonderful guest, we got to talk about, again, last week, man, I thought Kimberly did an amazing job filling in for me. Last week, I was gone as we were dealing with the transition of Jeneli's mother, Genevieva Kakayuran Apolinario. She transitioned to her final resting place last Monday morning. And so, losing a parent, and I'm sure you could speak on it, is not easy at all. And, I haven't lost any parents, but, being that I'm with Jenely and she lost her mom, that is a major hit. And so wasn't available last week, man, but I was still tuned in, and I was very proud of the way in which y'all handled y'all business last week, man. So much respect.
Yeah. What did I haven't talked to you too much for those. What did she pass of? What?
Man, she had cancer for the last 2 years, and I believe it was pancreatic cancer. Generally, it was pancreatic cancer, and She was diagnosed with cancer around the time Sarai was born, very shortly after Sarai was born. So seeing the way that Lola went from when Sarai was born to where she was when she finally transitioned, it, you hear a lot about cancer, right? But like, it's not until you actually see it and see what it can do to somebody that you're so close to that you realize the magnitude of what cancer is, and you realize why you have those booyah campaigns as you saw this past Saturday when we were watching the UFC fight nights in Orlando. You see why you have those you have football games where they're wearing their pink and breast cancer awareness. You see why you have those cancer drives, man, because cancer is I've always known it was real, but then when you see it for somebody that is so close to you, it's like, oh no, it is seriously real. So tomorrow we'll be having the viewing, and then on Wednesday we'll be having the funeral and the burial. So yeah, we were gone last week. I just asked everybody in the NFC community to love on Jenna Lee during this time. I don't know if anybody has lost their parent out there, man, but it's not easy. And I'm sure you could speak to the pain and the transition that it is losing a parent.
Yeah, mine was similar with my dad a few years ago, January 2nd, 2019. He was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. I don't even know how long it was. It was probably about 2 years, I guess, maybe a little bit under 2 years. I don't remember what he told us. I remember how he told us in the living room that he had cancer. And again, just like you, I had never had a family member that was close to us have cancer. And even, I don't know if I'd even known anyone very close to me. But the progression, how quick it goes in 2 years, and going to chemo every 3 weeks and staying with my parents while my dad did chemo for 6 or 8 hours every other Wednesday. Never told anyone, basically couldn't return calls for 6 hours or answer the phone. I was with him. And then he stayed in a hotel, and, all the stories of him not eating for a while after that, how much weight he lost, how much it sucked. I remember one time the only thing he wanted was my mom went out to Target after he did chemo, and I was in the hotel hanging out with him. And it was like the first time he had wanted to eat in a while, and all he wanted was a Five Guys cheeseburger, fries, and the chocolate shake. And the doctor had told us, after chemo, you can't eat anything greasy. So I was like, okay, I'll go get you this, but we can't tell Mom. I went and got him that Five Guys and the chocolate shake, and when I left the hotel, he was fine. My mom called me about an hour later, and he had shit all in the hotel room. He had shit on the bed. He had shit on the floor. It was all over the bathroom. It was everywhere, basically, because he couldn't make it to the bathroom. He had other things going on, like AFib and stuff like that, where your heart starts beating. You can't do a lot. So then I had to run to Target. After my mom went to Target for groceries, I had to go to Target to buy all these towels. Like, I got all these blue towels, probably 50 of them, and used them to clean up the hotel with her. And the ones we didn't use are still my towels upstairs. So it's kind of weird. Like, I've got 3 different towels because I'm cheap and I just use whatever I have. And a lot of the blue towels are in there. So whenever I use a blue towel, I'm like, man, this was Dad's blue towel from the Five Guys cheeseburger and shake.
But you wanted to get him what he wanted. That's what he wanted.
Yeah. I mean, you see your father not wanting to eat for so many weeks in a row and hating everything, that if he's got a craving for something, damn, you're going to go get that craving.
No, for sure. So, yeah. Now, following his transition, man, like, how did you deal with it? Like, how did you deal with, like, not being able to just pick up your phone and give him a call?
Well, I mean, his phone number's still in my cell phone. I'm bad. I was thinking about it last week because I had the other friend from Auburn pass. I've still got all my past people in my phone, so it's been weird to even delete them. But it did suck. I mean, it sucked for quite some time. It was a year and a half or 2 years in the making. And actually, in about, what is today, December 5th? So in 2 weeks, I'm finally going to New York to spread his ashes in Yankee Stadium. So I'm the worst son in the world. It's taken me 3 years to take his ashes to Yankee Stadium, where he's wanting to spread out, because first we had COVID, and then we have this and that. The Yankees, the baseball game didn't allow fans in there. You couldn't travel, et cetera, et cetera. So 3 years after my father's passing, I'm finally taking his ashes to Yankee Stadium in 2 weeks. So, I mean, it's horrible not being able to call that person or talk to them. And, you wish you had said all the things you want to say, but, I don't know, just spending a lot of time with them every 3 weeks for that chemo, we enjoyed those times. So you just try to think about all the good times and not even think about the bad, I guess.
Is there anything somebody could have said to you to make it better?
No, I think for me it was just time. I think I think the fights keep me busy and always thinking about a date, a short-term goal. So it's just staying busy, doing more fights, going to the gym every day. But that's also when I took up jiu-jitsu. I want to do something different. I want to kind of like a hobby, and I'd never done jiu-jitsu, so that's kind of what motivated me to train jiu-jitsu and then compete versus Tremonte. Um, and it wasn't all for my dad. I don't want to make it look like that. It was just something to take my mind off of it, and it was this time that takes it away. So for you and Jenna Lee, not only is it gonna be time, but it's gonna be engulfing your brain in something else that don't normally think about. Um,
Indeed.
you know, I, I,
Hey,
I don't know.
hey, well, I mean, I appreciate that. The entire NFC community, y'all sent flowers to the house, man. It definitely made a difference. They're still sitting here, and we appreciate y'all for just loving on us and loving on Jenna Lee, man, especially during this time. If anybody's ever lost anybody, y'all just drop a comment in the comment section. Just let us know like how you were able to get through that, or not even just get through it, but just navigate it per se. So yeah, y'all drop some comments in our comment section. Let us know, show some love. We can consider this another. I don't want to say slow week, maybe an off week, because this is a fairly big gap between fights. Our last fight was in November. Was it November? It wasn't even in November.
Yeah, it was November. We had October Doug Usher versus Jerry Gooden. Then we had the November Jesse Wable Amateur Series.
Boom.
So,
Our
yeah.
last fight was the amateur series in November. We won't be coming back until the 20th, and Monday Night Garage. And we have a lot of really dope programming coming up. A lot of dope shows coming up here in the future. Before we get to Quincy, my final thing was: do you have any more developments on this battery show?
No, what sucks is I love Thanksgiving, I love Christmas, and I love Hanukkah. For me and my Jewish friends, I love Hanukkah, 8 glorious nights. But damn it's been slow. I mean, I'm hoping to meet with them sometime next week about the battery and get something there. But with them out of town, it's just been a little slow. It's definitely going to happen. I've got one fighter that trains there. I've talked to the GM. I was supposed to meet with the GM of the entire battery organization. They gave me one time, which was Friday at 5 p.m. this past Friday. He's like, okay, he's got 1 hour ready. And I'm like, damn it, I'm helping out with this Boswell boxing show on Friday on ESPN. I can't just leave for an hour. So I had to pass on that. So meeting with District tomorrow about some upcoming dates. And the battery is something I look back at my Facebook when they built the Brave Stadium like 7, 8 years ago, whatever it was. I made a post back then of, this is the ultimate goal to do a fight at the Brave Stadium or the battery right there. And now it's closer. I think it's still definitely going to happen in February, March. I'm not booking any other venues till then. And it's funny because I have fighters hitting me every day. Jesse Wable's hitting me every day. What's the February or March date? And I kind of don't want to name a date until I give 100% chance of this battery to happen, because I think it's going to be that much fun, that intense, and just that exciting. A new venue right there next to the Brave Stadium, and we really have to get it in before baseball begins in late March. So I'm bugging the guy twice a day, every day, but it's gonna happen.
I'm seeing a lot of people on socials talk about that date. Like they're like, oh, I need some sponsorship opportunities. I'm gonna be fighting at the battery in front of thousands of people. So I'm like, all right, like, is there any more developments that I missed out on? Because like this is something really big that it seems like the NFC community is really, really excited about.
Yeah, I mean, I always say venues make the difference. Venues are the biggest thing in the world. I love the fighters, I love the trainers, I love the gyms, I love the NFC, but if you get a badass venue, when we open up District, when we open up Monday Night Brewing, when we open up Tannery Row, the first couple of shows we did at Pink Pony for 1,500 people. If you look back to when we did Wild Bills, Electric Cowboy, Center Stage, every venue we use is badass, and I just love the battery. When it happens, it's going to be huge.
When was the first time you were at the District?
During COVID, Center Stage shut down 100% because of COVID. I shut down for like 8 weeks. First show back was Harley Davidson.
I remember that show.
What was that? I don't remember the first show at District, but it was during COVID, and that's when I met Rich Stein over there, and it's been my favorite venue since, just because of how intense it is. But I don't remember.
So we knew
exactly
each other. We knew each other. Like we had a relationship going by the time you were at District.
Yeah, I think we met pre-COVID.
Because I remember the Harley Davidson show vividly.
Yeah.
Like I remember the Harley Davidson. I remember the last time you were at Center Stage. I remember all those. I didn't know. I thought District was in the was in the rotation beforehand.
Yeah, so District was during COVID because the first show, what was it? Damn it, why'd you ask me this question? District might have been before COVID. I don't know. It might have been before COVID. You might be right. I have no idea. I don't know. Too
You've been
many
doing
damn
this
events.
so long, man. Again, 20 years in the game. You deserve to forget some stuff, man. Again,
I
that's
forget
David
everything.
Oblas. I'm Julian Virgin. This is NFC Now. Do we have any comments, man? I sometimes I'll be hating on the chat.
So we got Chris Harper said Trace's mom is still battling cancer, so keep him in your thoughts, and that's a question we're definitely ask Trace Harper later. Chris Harper said lost audio. I hear Julian hears me, so we're gonna ignore that. We both have audio.
Yeah,
So,
no, I hear
sorry,
you
Chris.
clear.
Felicia Quick said center stage is the place. I'm going to ignore that because I'm not going back to center stage anytime soon. So I love you, Felicia. I love center stage, but we ain't going back there anytime soon.
Indeed,
So.
and we love our entire NFC community. We also we got a lot of respect for our next guest stepping up to the plate, joining us here. Has a big fight coming up for the NFC's vacant lightweight title, hailing all the way, I believe, from Savannah, Georgia. Is it Chatham County?
Augusta, Georgia.
Excuse me.
Richmond County.
Let me go ahead and make sure I get this right, brother. Hailing all the way from Augusta, Georgia, ladies and gentlemen,
Georgia.
we would like to introduce and welcome our guy Quincy Evans Jr. to the NFC Now program. Quincy, happy Monday, brother.
Same. Thankful to be here.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Julian Virgin. That's David Oblas. We've definitely met before, man. But, I got to say, man, the times that we've met has always been after one of your fights have been canceled.
It seems like it.
Yeah, man. Could you just go ahead and tell us, man, how many times, you've experienced, a cancellation of a fight the day of?
It hasn't happened often. It's just kind of been, it's a nature of the beast, one of those things. We use our body as weapons. We say in the gym, it won't be the first, it won't be the last. So, you just gotta stay prepared and keep working every day. Like you say, it's not fighting. It's what I get the pleasure out of. It's the training with my team, coming in here every single day and just sweating and bleeding with these guys in here. So
you train over there at Fagler's Kempo Karate?
Yes, sir. Fagler's Kempo Karate.
Yo, so I believe I was checking out Malcolm's page, man. He posted it was a repost of you. You were a big boy back then, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. There's been a transformation, man. I'm thankful for the team and the family.
Could you speak on the transformation, man? What brought you to the gym in the first place?
So I've always been a wrestler. I wrestled in high school. And the youngest son, Joel Fagler, who's actually the current champion right now for NFC, it was his 8th grade year. And we kind of just kept in touch, and we've been brothers ever since. And he always told me, he was like, man, you're too young just to put it down. You're too young. Like, there's a champion inside of you. There's a champion in there. I see it. And I just started coming to the wrestling nights, and then I bought my first pair of gloves, and everybody just bought in and poured into me, and it's been up ever since, man. It's insane. It's crazy.
Dave?
First, this is Dave Oblas. Before I talk to you, I want to show a video, which hopefully you can see on your screen, which I find interesting as hell. It's about a 30-second video.
Starting off with a lot of action coming from both fighters.
Clinch him. He doesn't want to stay in the inside. Oh, he got caught with a big right hook.
And that is a knockdown for Quincy Evans. Dylan Baker's looking a little bit unsteady on his feet. And the fight is called off.
So my question is, what in the hell was that? That is Muay Thai with 4-ounce gloves in South Carolina? Jesse Wade was asking earlier. We have never seen that before.
Yeah, the fight was offered and presented to us, and my coaches, they sat me down and we ran over, and they was like, "Hey, man, listen, it's Muay Thai, but it'll be with small gloves. It'll be with MMA gloves." And we've been in the MMA game, taking MMA fights, so I was, it was a no-brainer for me. It was another challenge, and I want to challenge myself to be the best that I can be for my guys.
So we've done MMA fights where both guys agree, a gentleman's agreement, to only fight stand-up, only punch, kick, knee. Mm-hmm. That wasn't like that. That was an actual Muay Thai fight, though.
Yeah, it was full Muay Thai rules. Like you say, it was just we had an agreement that we would go small gloves. So I think they even do it in one championship a little bit. I've heard and I've seen a few fights from that. So I was just blessed to be a part of it, blessed to get the opportunity. So all glory to God, man. All glory to God
So
on
what
that.
conflict champion are you now? You're like the conflict Muay Thai champion, the conflict MMA with Muay Thai rules champion? Like, what is that even called?
It's the Conflict 155 and me Muay Thai champion.
Okay. That's
Yes, sir.
badass. We've never seen it before.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
You
Thank
seeing
you.
that clip again, man, and it was a vicious combo. It was a vicious combo. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good. Like I say, when I step in there, I just want to represent for my team to the fullest, inside and outside of the cage, of course. But it just feels really, really good to get in there, and we work hard every single day. So just to show, a little bit of what we put into our training, it was very, very rewarding. So rewarding.
And you're coming off, you started your career at 0-1
Yes, sir. Yes,
with
sir.
that one loss to DK Brewer, which ended
Yes,
up
sir.
being the NFC submission of the year.
Mhm.
I imagine you've seen that highlight video 1,000 times of him subbing you.
I have.
So what was it like coming back from 0-1 to now being the conflict champion and now fighting for an NFC championship? There ain't many guys that have conflict and NFC championships.
The minute that fight was over, I knew that wasn't, that wouldn't be the end. Like, we work way too hard. There's no quit in my blood. It's hard to be the guy with the motor. So the minute I got up, I knew, I was like, man, okay, we're back. We're back working. We're going to step it up even harder. And we're just going to, go in there. We're going to actually work, work our game plan. I felt like first fight I went in, I was a little, like a bull in the china shop. Wasn't really thinking. It was everything was going really fast. So I knew from that moment on that the game was forever changed, and that I was gonna rise to the occasion from that moment forward.
To be fair, DK showed you a lot of love on last week's pod. We had him on last week, man. He said he's always rooting for you, man. He said if somebody falls through, he said if one of the fights falls through and you want some get back, man, that there might be an opportunity there. But he showed you a lot of love. Quincy Evans Jr. again joining us here on the NFC Now podcast. Quincy, you mentioned earlier multiple times your team. You mentioned Joel. Throughout my interactions with all the Faglers, man, I just noticed just how much of stand-up men they are, stand-up people, and just that type of culture and community. Could you speak more on that when it comes to your gym?
Oh man, dude, I could talk forever on that. It's I don't even feel like it's a gym. I feel like it's a family. We'll, whether it's 11 o'clock in the morning or it's 11 o'clock at night, if I get a call from one of them, I'm out of the bed, I'm on the way. And it's reciprocated. We'll do, anything that we need to do for each other. We pour in, it's 100% buy-in, man. It's not like, this is my first gym. I've never trained before I got with the Faglers. So I was super blessed to, to be a part of the family, La Familia, FKKS. So it's special, man. It's special.
So you're not training with them anymore?
It truly, no, definitely, man. Definitely. Nah, I'm here. I ain't going nowhere. Going nowhere.
Okay, so you got a big fight coming up against Trace Harper, man. Trace Harper had a very, very, very impressive victory last time out against Ryan Kimbrough at a couple shows ago at Monday Night Brewery, where you will be fighting coming up on the 20th, man. What do you know about your opponent?
Not too much. I just kind of show up for training, and my coaches have the game plan, honestly, and whatever we're working that night, like I say, I'll trust them 100%. Whatever they tell me to work, I'm working it, giving it 110%. So it shows itself on fight night. They have the game plan. They tell me what to go in and work, and it's just about being coachable, being able to go out there, stay composed, and like I said before, rise to the occasion. So.
Have you watched his videos, and are you going to?
I've seen a little bit. I've seen a little film.
What'd you think?
He got some decent jiu-jitsu, some good jiu-jitsu. So I feel like the wrestling aspect, when it comes to that, we'll be able to wrestle it out a little bit. And like I say, it's just about rising to the occasion. The game plan that's brought to me, we're gonna work that, and we're gonna put on the show for y'all. We're gonna put on the show. I know I'm coming to put on the show, so I can only speak to me.
I like that, man. It seems like you're more focused on you instead of your opponent. We've had people on the show in shows past say like they don't even see an opponent. They really just worry about how they stepping and how they coming.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's definitely a level of respect there. I respect anybody who steps in the cage, who steps in there. With me, I appreciate that, the opportunity to get to showcase those skills. But like you say, at the end of the day, when it's time to go, you got to rise to the occasion. So that's what I plan on doing.
We'll have Trace on the show a little bit later, man. Is there anything in particular that you want to let him know?
Nah, not really. I mean, I'm coming to put on the show. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? I can't really focus on things that I can't control. So I'm going in there and I'm gonna control whatever I can control, and I'm gonna bring it home.
Now,
I think I said last week, I used to do a show in December every year. I've kind of scoured away from that. I just don't like doing December show. The fighters hate it. The fans can't even assimilate violence during the holidays. They just don't want to see violence during the holidays, as crazy as it is. So when I do January, I try to back it up a couple weeks and not get anywhere near, Christmas for my fellow Hebrews, Hanukkah, New Year's Eve, let you guys have Christmas and stuff like that and eat and drink. With the fight being January 20th, are you going to be able to eat at all during Christmas? I'd imagine that's almost a month before.
It is, but it's discipline wise. I want to make sure I'm doing everything. I'm crossing my T's, dotting my I's. So I want to make sure I'm doing everything that I can possibly do. And I'll take my Christmas and my New Year's when y'all put the belt around my waist. That's when I'll take my Christmas.
Quincy, what song you walking out to?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna have to keep that one. I'm gonna hold it down. Y'all gonna have to wait.
I'm fully expecting, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's your mom that be at all these fights, huh?
Yeah, that's my Dukes, man.
Man, what's her name?
Pamela.
Miss Pam. Or Miss Evans. Is it Miss Evans?
Is Miss Pam. Miss
Pam. So you know what? Jenny and I, we're big supporters of Malcolm Wellmaker. We've always gone to all his fights, man. And Pam is always there. It's the most unique thing. She's always like, hey, how you doing? Always shows love, man. So I look forward to seeing Miss Pam. I look forward to what you have to walk out to. And if I didn't know who Quincy Evans Jr. was, man, why should I come out on January 20th to watch you compete for the NFC lightweight title versus Trace Harper?
You should come out to watch me compete because I put my heart and soul into everything that I do. I'm not a person who's going to give you 50% or 80%, 85%. When I do something, I do it wholeheartedly. I want to do it to the best of my ability. So when you come and watch me fight, it's not something that you're seeing me doing in my off time. This isn't something that I do for fun. This is something that I am 100% committed to. And, I've dedicated, a lot of time and a lot of my life to this, hence the transformation. So you should definitely come out and get your tickets because I'm going to put on the show.
Is this your full-time hustle?
Not full-time.
If you don't mind us asking, what do you do in order to make ends meet?
I'm currently working for the Uniform Services Airmark. It's kind of like Centos right now, so I'm doing that in the early mornings. I get off and hit training. So
it's a sacrifice, huh?
It's a sacrifice. What is life without sacrifice? What is life without sacrifice?
Indeed. David?
I've got you as Quincy Evans in most of my notes. But on the screen, you put Quincy Evans Jr., and I've seen Quincy Evans Jr. Which one are you? Should I list you on everything as Quincy Evans Jr.?
Yeah, that's kind of something that I just put, because I'm named after my dad. Love my dad. Shout out to Pops, and Quincy, But, I usually just put Quincy Evans Jr. because my dad knows a lot of people. So when they see Quincy Evans, the first thing they think of is him. So I was like, let me start with the junior. I think I started that in middle.
So I'm changing my spreadsheet right now as we talk. Now the spreadsheet and all my websites will say Quincy Evans Jr. So,
all right.
And that's going to help me sell more tickets. I got to put Junior on there.
Yeah, all right, bet.
So you just fought on Conflict, and I've seen you guys involved in Conflict before, and I'm good friends with Jared Williams. So one
Mhm.
question I had: you fought on Conflict and you fought on NFC. What are the pros and cons of both? What would you see? What would you want to see either one change? What do either one of us do better than the other? And you don't have to be shy. I'm friends with Jared Williams, and this is just two
Uh,
promoters trying to get better.
I'm new in the game, man, so I'm just, trying to soak it all in. And when, like I said, when I get an offer, I'm willing to suit up and go to war for that represent or that FKKS that you see when I come out with the shorts or the shirt on. So, I mean, I'm just thankful for y'all having me on, your show. I appreciate it. And I just wanna represent, man. Honestly, I just wanna represent.
You
I
just
can't.
want all the title belts.
I want them here.
Man, you're like a pro athlete. We can't get you to say anything bad.
Nah, for real. I've been digging this whole time too, just seeing if you gonna give us something. But I gotta say, that might be I think it's just testament to the people that you hang out with every day of the week, man. Like, I've
No
been
doubt,
around
no doubt.
Senior. I call him Senior Jason. I mean,
Yeah.
Pops. That's what Malcolm called him,
Pops,
Pops.
yeah, Pops.
He-
That's Pops. man.
that's one of the most outstanding men I've been around, and you could just tell
Yeah, no doubt.
instantly just
No
by the
doubt.
way he moves, by the way he speaks, by the way both of his sons move, Jason and Joel.
Mhm.
And like, and I could just see like that leadership just ooze onto everybody else, man. Everybody's
No
super
doubt.
humble, and I'll never forget, David, you sent us down there to interview Malcolm that one day, man, and we had Sarai. She had to be about 8 months at that time. And y'all, I don't know what's up with the AC in y'all gym, brother. I don't know what's going on. But in Augusta, in the middle of July, you don't want to be there. Sarai, we left the gym.
Man.
Sarai gets to like throwing up because she's just hot. She was just hot.
Yeah.
But man, like the whole gym, y'all just snapped into it, man. And like, I'm speaking as a parent, man, like, we appreciate that level of love. And every time that we see anybody from your gym, everybody's like, how's the baby? And like,
No doubt.
that matters. You know what I'm saying? That matters to us, man. And like, just the way that y'all go about your business, there's no gloating, there's no boasting. It's just like, hey, we're here to handle our business. Y'all shake all hands, y'all answer all questions. So it's
Yes,
just
sir.
nothing but respect, Quincy.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. It means a lot. And I know it means even more to them. So yeah, they definitely, they're anointed people, man. They are very anointed people.
Indeed, man. So are you. So is Miss Pam. We look forward to seeing the whole
She gonna
gang
love
from
that.
Augusta come up here on January 20th as you, Quincy Evans Jr., take on Trace Harper for the NFC lightweight belt.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Predictions?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Predictions?
Hey, look, you're gonna have to come out, man. Tell them they're gonna have to come out, get their tickets. We're gonna put on the show, man. We're gonna put on a show. I guarantee you.
I'm ready for it, man. Thank you so much for your time, Quincy.
Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a great night.
You
Respect.
too. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Boy, David, you be digging. I'm telling you, David be looking for them ratings. You looking for some dirt.
He's like a pro athlete. I think he was sketched on how to deal with the media and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think that's why what we do here is so important, man. We give people an opportunity to get their toes wet in a little bit of media. This is essentially media, and I could only imagine like somebody invite me on their pod, like, hey, ooh, like, getting the text from Big David Oblast, like, yo, we want you to come on the pod. I know he probably like, oh man.
I'd be talking shit nonstop. I talk shit just doing this nonstop. I played racquetball with Ethan Watson. I used to make us a racquetball championship to take photos with that for the winner afterwards. I love talking shit. He doesn't.
I enjoy it. I'm not the biggest shit talker. However, like I'm not opposed to anybody talking because I'm very competitive. Like I'm internally competitive, and I know I'm a winner. So like I'm not gonna like talk. Oh, I'm the biggest and baddest. But like I am coming to fight you.
Yeah, it makes it more fun, makes it more exciting. Like I'm not going to push and shove at the weigh-ins, nothing like that. But I love talking junk about anything.
I mean, yeah, I'm with it, but again, I'm not fighting. So like
Right.
sometimes I don't have to necessarily answer to my talk with fisticuffs. You know what I'm saying?
We got to figure out how to mute when we ask them questions. Mute them, and one of us just kind of like answer for them and talk shit the whole time, and make it look like he's moving his mouth.
Hey, that'll be gangster, man. That'll be gangster. But we got to do it with the right person before they come up to you and try to come holler at you.
We got Jamal Johnson next. Maybe we can try with him. I don't know. I don't know if
Let's
he
see. I
talks
feel like
junk or
Jamal
not.
Johnson's a good dude too. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next to the NFC Now podcast, he'll be fighting Akeem Bashir coming up on January 20th at Monday Night Brewery. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to introduce you and welcome my man Jamal Johnson. What's up, brother?
Yo, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm sipping on a little bit of red wine, a little Cabernet. I'm here with my man David, as we always are on a Monday evening, talking to fighters like yourself. So I cannot complain whatsoever, man. How you living?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good, man. How you feeling, Dave?
Good, good. Are you from North Carolina? Correct me. I don't even know where you're at.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Baltimore. Damn, I messed that one. That's why you fought for Shogun Fight so many times up in that area.
Yeah. From Baltimore, Maryland, originally.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, when I sold my company years ago to Alliance MMA, we actually partnered with CFFC and Shogun Fights. So I got to meet both them, and I see both them on your resume up there.
Yep. Yeah, I've been fighting up north for a good bit. Like New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
So our show was the first one down south you've actually fought in.
Ah!
Well, looks like you fought for Titan. Was that in Florida?
Yeah. That was actually a last minute joint. I think it was that was like back in March or something like that. Yeah, they just called me up saying, yeah, we got a guy if you're interested. And yeah, I kind of took the call on like a week's notice. I think it was like 4 days or something like that.
And you're actually undefeated for NFC, beating Austin Childers last time out.
Yes,
Submitted
sir.
him in the second round.
Yes, sir.
And
Hey,
Austin,
tough dude, man.
I was about to say, Austin is a tough dude, man. And for you to go ahead and get him with the arm bar, man, I remember that fight. That was a good fight, brother.
Yeah, man, appreciate you. Yeah, it's just it was a custom to me taking my time for real, seeing how he moved and whatnot, seeing what he was gonna throw at me and whatnot. And just when I saw the opportunity to get him out of there, yeah, it
I
just
want to
came.
start right in the deep end, man. Jamal Johnson, why do you fight, bro? What's your why?
My why can be, I don't believe it's one thing, it's an accumulation of things, but definitely it's through a series of hardships. Well, for one, growing up where I am for real is just, you have to fight. Just life in general for me, man. It's I have to protect myself, not only that, but the people as well as I love for real. So martial arts came as a no-brainer to me. Just to get into, right? When I'm thinking about protecting myself or the people that I ride with, or the people who ride for me, yeah, I ain't got no problem fighting. That's easy.
Indeed, man. Did you how did you formally like get into like mixed martial arts? What was that
Uh,
introduction?
well, I've been doing what was it? I was doing judo for a good portion of my life since I was like 13. I'm 30 now. I came into mixed martial arts like right out of high school and whatnot. I graduated like 2010, and then I don't know. I just started watching videos and all this, just seeing all these crazy fights, UFC, Pride, anything really. Even boxing got me into it as well. Just watching highlights of great fights. Next thing you know, I just caught the bug, and yeah, I never stopped.
Indeed, man. Indeed. You've been fighting a long time as a professional now, man. You've been, you got some dubs, you got some L's, man. Like
Yeah.
you're 30 now. You got a big fight coming up against Akeem Bashir. He was on
Yes,
the
sir.
pod last week. He said, look, a fight is a fight. You looking to whip his ass, he looking to whip yours.
Yes, sir.
What do you see in Akeem?
And Keem, I see a pretty determined, pretty smart man and whatnot. I feel like he's seasoned like me as well, but it really doesn't matter. All it takes is one shot every time. So I know I'm a dog in and out. So if he's gonna bring that same type of mentality, he can. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking for conflict. Shit, I'm looking to show the crowd some blood and whatnot. I'm looking to show them some good times. All right. Now, how people like to say I'm a vibe, even though that shit sounds stupid. I ain't no vibe. I'm just a real chill dude. I'm trying to put on some memories for some people. So here I am.
You sounded like Jorge Masvidal there. When you were saying you got in a lot of fights growing up, is that just Baltimore in general, or was that your neighborhood in general?
Mainly just me in general. I've been picked on a lot since I was like since I was a youngin. So Yeah, falling into martial arts, falling into getting into, physical fitness and all that. It really just fell into place because I kind of had to. So, uh, fights, fights come easy, especially when people always got an attitude, especially where I'm from. Everybody got an attitude.
Well, I always joke that people never forget what they were bullied about when they were in like elementary and middle and high school. Man, what were you bullied about?
I'm just a small dude.
That
And
makes two
still
of
to this
us.
day,
I
exactly.
was bullied too for being small. I ain't gonna lie.
Still to this day, it's the same thing. I'm only like what 5'5", 5'6", but I'll hit you with some shit.
I'd kill to be 5'6". I'm 5'3.5". I would kill to be 5'6".
My judo instructor is actually 5'3", but hey, that's my man, right? He's kind of the same way. When he used to tell me stories about all the time. He's from Massachusetts, and he moved down here to Baltimore years ago. But yeah, he used to be in the he went to the Olympics and all that. I think he was in the army. He practiced judo and whatnot. And right, he just tells me all the stories of him just being right, just being a small dude who could really rough people up. Stuff like that really helped me and whatnot. Carry on.
Yeah, I'm 5'3.5", and I haven't been in fights in the second grade, and I have no interest in getting in one. People can pick on me all they want. I know I'm not very strong, so
Pick up the
I
stick,
walk away when I can.
just get the stick, Dave, and hit somebody with it.
I just pay other people to beat each other up. That's enough for me. So yeah, that quenches my thirst.
That
Again,
works
Jamal
too.
Johnson joining us here on NFC Now ahead of his big fight on January 20th at Monday Night Brewery against Akeem the Dream Bashir. Jamal,
Yes, sir.
what weight class are y'all fighting at?
I believe 135.
Y'all fighting at
Yeah,
130.
135.
Y'all are fighting at 135, man. You've you fought, you've won, you've lost. You're 30 years old now, as I said before. Is this your professional fighter too? Is this your only hustle, or like what else do you do in order to make ends meet?
No, I definitely got other hustles. At the moment, I'm doing security right now. Like that's what I've been doing for a number of years. But as well as just I think I do a little bit of landscaping, construction, and yeah, I'm just a hustler in and out. So yeah, I try to I try to keep it going.
Indeed, man. What kind of sacrifices did you have to make on a daily basis in order to just make that walk to the cage?
Definitely I know social life. That's one I can tell you. Social life, and definitely, I mean, when you got a bunch of friends that are lazy and fat as hell and don't want to, what I'm saying, don't want to get into the type of stuff that I do, which is, real physical. But besides that, family, just time with family. Probably I probably sacrificed a number of relationships. So hey, it's on my part. I can't blame nobody for that but myself. So it is what it is.
Indeed, man. As you make that walk into the cage, man, what are your typical emotions, man? Because Dave's actually made the walk before, so I can't even speak on Dave. But I've never made that walk before, so I couldn't imagine how I would feel walking out into somebody, as Akeem said, that's looking to whip your ass. What are those emotions like, man?
The emotions are crazy, man. It's just I definitely feel it in my stomach, and then from my stomach, it just goes throughout my whole body. It feels like I'm charging almost, right? Like I'm loading. But when the day comes or when that day is there, yeah, all I know is I'm just visualizing. I'll probably be staying to myself as much as I can most of the time because really, I don't need to talk to nobody. I don't really need to, I don't really need to see anybody. I just need to go do my work. And yeah, when that day comes, I already know I'm gonna go to a couple of dark places in my mind, as I will, throughout this whole camp. So, yeah.
What song are you walking out to?
Song, man, that depends on the mood when I see you guys. That really depends on the mood when I'm coming down that way. So yeah, I got you though. Yeah, ain't gonna be too far.
Indeed, Dave.
What you've fought both in your hometown, you said, for CFFC in Philadelphia and Shogun fights up there in Baltimore. You've gone to Florida for Titan. You've gone to us in Atlanta for NFC. What do you prefer more, fighting in front of your fans at your hometown or fighting out of town? I know there's pros and cons with both.
Yeah.
Cons even at home. You got to deal with your fans. You got to deal with tickets, BS like that. Which do you enjoy, home or on the road?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's it's good to not have to deal with ticket sales and stuff like that, being at going out of town and going on the road with these fights. But yeah, just like you said, there's really pros and cons. Like I just love the game for real. I love having a good scrap, but at the same time, I believe I like fighting out of state a lot more because I just like to travel and knowing that there's a tough guy on every corner. Right, I get to meet him. Sign that dotted line.
What kind of fan base do you have when you do fight at home? Are you a huge ticket seller or average? Like, what kind of support do you get up there?
Yeah, I definitely say I'm average. Like, yeah, when it comes to with the type of fan base that I have, obviously family, friends, people support businesses I support and stuff like that. But yeah, like I definitely believe the love is gonna come a lot more when I show people exactly what I got going on, man. Like I'm definitely coming with this fight. I'm looking to put on a highlight reel, show that back to my peoples, and let them know that yeah, this is what I'm coming with. This is what I'm doing. And yeah, hopefully get more fan base. I know I want more fans down there as well. So Georgia, holla at me. You want to watch me fight more and more.
They already hollering at you in the comment section. They said this dude is intense AF, and if you don't know what AF mean, you just get to know. Like, yeah, man, you do definitely come across. You do definitely come across as intense, man, and I love the energy, and I think the reason that I love having an opportunity to talk with the fighters is that we're able to get to know you, and the community is able to know who is going to step into the cage coming up on January 20th, man. Like, the people to look forward to. Like, no, I remember that guy from the pod because he did one of these. He was letting us know that like he coming to fight, man. So on January 20th, man, if somebody didn't know who the hell Jamal Johnson was, man, why should we come out to watch you scrap?
When I say you should come out to watch me January 20th, I believe it's purely off of the fact that I'm one of those dudes that really embodies fighting. Fighting ain't just, it's like a hobby for me, or, it's just something that I do just so I can get chicks, or something I can do just so I can, look good and have a six pack. It's something that, I feel like I was just born into. And at this point, it's just in my blood. Like, hopefully I got kids in the future because, I wanted to run down to them. And as well as, I want to give this skill, these abilities as I've grown into over the years, I want to be able to teach more after I'm done fighting. But yeah, fighting is just me, man. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's been the definition of me for a good while. So yeah, I'm ready to cap off myself with some good memories, some good fights. All right, show you guys what's up.
Well, we ready to see what's up, man. Especially after this, man, having an opportunity to talk to you, man. Again, we've already seen you fight Austin Childers, man, and he's a dog, and we're very familiar with him. And for you to make, for you to do what you did to him, man, we're definitely eager to see what you have in store against Hakeem, man. He was on the show last week. He definitely he's very respectful of you, man. He's also a very intense dude as well. So we're gonna see two lions step into the NFC cage come January 20th at Monday Night Brewing. Make sure you go ahead and get your tickets on NFCfighting.com. Jamal Johnson, before we part ways, man, we want your final thoughts. What do you want to leave our NFC community with?
Hey, man, just tune in. All right, make sure whether you buying the ticket, whether the fight is being streamed, I believe so, right? Just whatever it is, man, tune in. Especially catch the whole event, all right? Because I already know there's a number of good fighters on the show. All right, and we all out here trying to do our best and whatnot, give our best respect, not only to NFC, but to our opponents as well. I obviously pass off thanks to my opponent King for accepting this fight and whatnot, but he know what it is, just like I know what it is. So, it ain't really much to talk about except just, get in there and do it.
There's not a lot of fighters that kind of personally scare the shit out of me, but you're one of the few that does. It just looks like you'd snap off and beat the dog shit out of me in like 2 seconds. You just have that look that scares me. I don't know what it is, but you just got that look that scares me.
I've definitely had my moments. And just being at work, man, I have my moments sometimes. I'll be ready to go up.
Yeah, I guess that's a compliment in this kind of business. If I'm saying someone scares the shit out of me, that's like giving you a compliment.
Appreciate you, my dude. Appreciate you. Well, yeah, also, all love. Baltimore, Maryland, my hometown. All right, whether I'm here or there, right, I'm always going to come back home. Always love my place as well as my peoples. All right, my family. If I forget anybody, Yeah, man. Come January 20th, I'm gonna show my soul a little bit more. That's all.
What
Can't.
last question I had was, what gym do you train up there? That's the only question I didn't have on my spreadsheet.
College Park Mixed Martial Arts. It's actually in a town called Beltsville, and TAC Boxing in DC.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Jamal, we appreciate your time, man. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, appreciate y'all, man. Be safe. I hope to see y'all soon, bro.
See you January 20th.
Yes, sir.
Yo, we got ourselves a fight, man.
This is the only business where you can sell someone they scare the shit out of you, and that's like a compliment, and people laugh at it. God damn, normally someone would beat me to a piss in a normal. Think about that, a normal job, normal 9 to 5 job. You tell someone you make me scared. This is the craziest industry in the world.
Yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. And like, yo, my man was sincere. He was so sincere, and then he smiled at the end of it. Yeah, he is very intense. Whoever left that comment, you're damn right. The dude is intense. But then, like, I'm just like, as I'm listening to him speak, I'm like, yo, he's about to get into the cage with Akeem Bashir. And we heard him talk last week. My dad was telling me, like, he was like, yeah, like, that dude was just, he was off the chain. Like, Akeem was off the chain last week, man. Akeem was off the chain last week.
Akeem is funny. Akeem is intense. Akeem is becoming one of the OGs here in Atlanta. Yeah, Akeem's a hell of a nice guy. I personally think he's high half the time, which probably makes you a lot more fun and exciting and whatnot. I need to start smoking, but yeah, it's going to be a fun fight. Like, it just seems like it's going to be fun between the two of them.
Yeah, it seems like they're both like that. If you had any questions on why you should get your tickets to NFC, is it 152?
152. Yeah.
NFC 152 on January 20th at Monday Night Garage. Look no further than Jamal Johnson versus Akeem Bashir, because that fight, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be straight fireworks. Somebody's going to get hurt. There will be blood. And I'm definitely looking forward to that, especially after we sat there and talked to both of them, man.
And if you see Jamal Johnson in the venue before the fight, probably don't talk to him. Probably just move out of his way.
Yeah, just...
When I was I helped out Cedric Basel with his boxing event this past weekend, and I'll tell this one story until we bring on Kameeko Hall in just a minute here. I see him in the pod waiting here, but so I was at Boswell Boxing. There's this local guy fighting, and unfortunately, he lost his fight. After the fight was stopped, he was puking there in the ring. He was puking right by the ring, inside of it while sitting down. And then he got up. He started puking more. Obviously had a concussion or something like that. But as a local Atlanta guy fighting an out-of-town guy, had sold some tickets. And myself and several others had to be security by his corner in the ring because several of his fans, when I say several, I say 4, 5, 6 of his fans were coming up to the ring like yelling and screaming at him. And I'll say apologies to my language, even though I say it all before. But they're like, you motherfucking pussy, you wasted our time. You gave up. We ain't supporting you anymore. Like all this other stuff. Like the guy he just lost his fight. He didn't get knocked out. It was a TKO. It got stopped. But he lost his fight. He's puking. He's got a concussion. People had to help him down the stairs. I had to bring a police officer over. I asked a police officer to walk him back to the dressing room because I didn't know if his own damn fans were going to attack him. Like it was in 21 years promoting fights, it's the only time I've ever seen someone's fans actually turn against them after they lost a fight. It was ridiculous.
That's wild, man. It sucks. It's like because there's a very fine line to me, right? It's like, look, you could be a fan, man, but unless you getting your ass in that cage and throwing these ones up,
yeah,
what you gotta say really don't matter. It really don't, because like you've heard it. What do they say? Fatigue can make a coward out of a man. It's hard to throw a couple punches on a bag. Just imagine you throwing a couple punches and then somebody coming back with a couple. You know what I'm saying? Like that's disappointing.
I failed in not having the guy on tonight. I should have had him on the podcast. I doubt he'd be willing to, but maybe next week we'll look at him, get him on, and talk to him about his fan base. But I've never seen someone's own fan base turn against them. I mean, you're there to support the guy. That's why you bought a ticket, to cheer them on. They're cheering them up after they lose a fight like that. Like it was almost shocking to me having to have a cop escort a fighter past his own fan base, not the other people's fan base, past his own fan base. It's the first time I've ever seen that in 20 years doing that.
That's wild, man.
It was pretty pathetic.
Did you enjoy yourself at the show?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun helping out a boxing show on ESPN network, being there, lending our advice, bringing our people and stuff like that, making it run more smoother. I think it could have done a hell of a lot better than what it was, and we'll work on that moving forward. But it's always fun to help other promotions with shows that I'm friends with the guys, and I think that's the ultimate goal, to work with other MMA promoters, but also boxing promoters that are not only out of state, but in state as well. Boswell Promotions Boxing does not compete with us. But it's a cool way to get my staff a little bit more money, maybe make me $1 or $2, and just learn some things from their shows, but make their shows better at the same time.
That was my follow-up question, man. Did you learn anything that you can take from?
I learned contracts are more important than I think they are. I send out contracts to all of our pro fighters, but our amateurs as well. But in the sport of boxing, they don't send out contracts. They don't do contracts to the weigh-ins. It's the craziest thing, because then everything is going to go bad at the weigh-ins if you wait until then. The weight's going to go bad. The purse is going to go bad. Everything is going to go bad if you're waiting until the weigh-ins. But they never sign contracts ahead of time. Just the fighters in boxing are a lot different than the fighters in MMA. I'll just leave it at that.
I was thinking that too, man. A couple weeks ago, as I did that I announced that boxing match.
Yeah, Buckhead Fight Club.
I went to the weigh-ins, and some of those fights were off over like 3 pounds, and I just heard you in my head. I just heard David Oblas in my head. 3 pounds is gonna make a difference in who's gonna win or lose that fight. And it was amateur fights, and these dudes the coach was like, no, we're not taking that fight. And I'm just like,
Why would you want to train for 8 weeks and do something for 8 weeks just to give it up the day before? Like, unless it's a huge amount, 10 pounds is going to make a difference. If me and you weigh 3 pounds difference Thursday night, if you're 3 pounds more than me, I'm going to eat more than I normally would and get up to your weight Friday. Like, we have no idea what we're going to weigh Friday night if we're 3 pounds apart 36 hours before. I've always found that the dumbest thing. Yes, you should be at the same weight. Yes, there's respect in the sport. But if you've been training for weeks, don't give it up.
Indeed. Before we get to our boy Kameeko, which is waiting patiently over there, we see you, Kameeko. I just got to say, I love doing the NFC Now podcast each and every Monday evening, because we're able to learn the fighters that are on your cards, Dave. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing to see them on a fight poster, which I got to say, shout out to Wable, the other Wable, who
Jamie
does the fight.
Wable.
Shout out to Jamie Wable. The fight posters this time were pretty damn hot.
I need to send you a fight poster for another show, and I'm not. I haven't wasted any time talking about them months, and I'm not going to. But I'm going to send you a fight poster for another show. And when it was sent to me the other day, like, I didn't know it was a fight poster. If it's something for a Mickey Mouse explosion, I had no idea what it was. It looked.
Go ahead and say their name, because I think I know what you're talking about, because I didn't seen it. I think I saw it.
I'm going to give them any press. I ain't going to talk about
I think I saw. Are some current NFC fighters on that card?
Yeah, not many. I think there's a couple. So, yeah.
It's a lot of them on the card, too, right? It's a lot of them on the poster, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. Like, I've seen 1 or 2 guys, and I don't know. That's all I want to say is I didn't even know it was a fight poster or what it was. I didn't know if it was a joke or what.
Yeah. So I've been seeing that, too. And I got to say, shout out to Jamie Wable. The fight posters are great. And just shout out to the pod, man. Shout out to everybody who wants to come onto the pod. And shout out to you, Dave, for facilitating this beautiful platform, because we, as an NFC community, are able to learn the fighters that are stepping into the cage. And so it gives us a little bit more vested interest in in the product in which that we're watching. And Kimberly mentioned it last week. And it's a beautiful question that you posed. Dave, the journalism major, the Auburn journalism major in you is really showing. You always ask the fighters, like, hey, from what you've seen from other shows, what could I do better?
Yeah.
It's a great question. And you're like, look, my feelings are going to be hurt. And sometimes people are a little meek at it. But I think Kimberly said it great. Kimberly was like, look, the more you could promote these fighters and have them be like, yo, I'm an NFC fighter, that makes it better for all of us. You know what I'm saying? Us having a Jamal Johnson on the show just a couple minutes ago, we didn't know who the hell he was. We know who Hakeem was from last week. We know who Hakeem was from every time that we're at a fight, he's in the back yelling, yapping at somebody, right? That's why we know him. But now we know who Jamal is through the pod. Yeah. And now it's like, okay, I want to go see that fight. I want to go buy tickets to that fight. So it's all working. It's all working in unison, man. So, like, this platform is so important to me, I'm sure to you,
It helps sell tickets, absolutely. And we got the awards banquet. It ties into that. So, yeah, I think everything kind of ties in together. It's more than just fights. And like you know better than me, this podcast makes no money. It costs money. It takes a couple hours every Monday. There's preparations, everything else. But everything builds into everything that we do combined. Yeah.
Come on, let's give a virtual high five, man.
I don't think we've ever done.
Just smack. Ladies and gentlemen, this is NFC Now. I'm Julian Virgin. That's David Oblas. Joining us now on the NFC Now podcast. He has a big fight coming up against Earl McKinney, but we would like to welcome the one, the only, Kameeko Wild Child. Is it Wild Child Hall?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, man. We gotta just break the ice right now, man. How did Wild Child come about, bro?
It's honestly it's a childhood nickname since I've been a kid. I'm a brother. I'm one of the youngest out of my mom. I'm the second youngest out of my mom and the oldest on my dad's side. But I have 7 brothers and sisters. And I'm the wildest one. I've been fighting since I was a kid, getting into mischief and everything since I was a kid. And wrestling was pretty much turning it around. But I've always been that wild child. My mom pretty much gave me that nickname whenever I was a kid, and it stuck with me through fighting.
Where'd you grow up at?
Brunswick, Georgia, down in Southeast Georgia.
Indeed, man. Indeed. You rep that proud, huh?
Yes, sir. 912.
It 912?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was about to say, is it 229? It's 912.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Again, welcome to the NFC Now podcast. We had on your opponent last week, Earl McKinney, man. You were also tuning in. What'd you think about what he had to say?
Basic, pretty much. It sounded like any other fighter. Nothing specific, nothing that I haven't heard before. So, but much respect to my opponent. But yeah, it's just nothing that I haven't heard before, pretty much. So it just sounded like any other fighters, interview. Excuse me.
Yeah. You said much respect, man, but I feel like a jab was thrown when you said it was basic, man. Like,
it's competition, man. So it's just like, hey, man, it's dog eat dog, and I'm the biggest dog in the yard. So I ain't gonna toot nobody horn too much other than my own. So
indeed, man. We'll toot yours, man. Why the hell should we come watch you fight come January 20th?
Because I'm the best 135 pounder in the state of Georgia, and I'm here to prove that. And I'm gonna knock anybody out who want to step in the ring and try to prove otherwise.
With that, let's go ahead and roll your combat night. I think it was combat night where you did knock a guy out. So let me plug that in real quick. So that was down in South Georgia, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was down in Douglas, Georgia. Yeah, that was my first time fighting in Georgia, so I had to put on for the city, man.
You fought for combat night quite a few times, Mitchell and Richard Cox.
Yes, sir. Yeah, about 5 or 6 times for those guys. Yes, sir.
So I am, if I do one show in February or March at the Battery that we're talking about, I'm actually going to have to rent Mitchell's cage. I don't know which cage you fought in. I think a smaller one is an 18-foot cage. My normal one's a 24-foot. I'm waiting for some of my fighters to bitch that it's too small. In your terms, what did you think of their cage, and did you enjoy it?
The cage doesn't matter to me. I just like to fight, honestly. We could fight outside in the concrete, in the backyard at your mama's house. I don't care. I just like to fight, honestly. So it honestly doesn't matter to me. I just like to get down.
Good. I'm going to save that audio for when guys do bitch at me that it's too big, too small, too this, too that. That some people just like to fight.
Yep. Yeah, it's in my blood.
Kameeko, what is it about fighting? What is it about when you're actually fighting somebody that you love?
Well, for me, it's controlled violence. So it's just kind of like it's an outlet for me, really. It's another art form in a sense. So we're martial artists at the end of the day. So I understand that I love to knock people out or get a submission or just finish fights in general. But it's an art, and I just love the art of finishing and painting that picture and just beautiful violence, and like I said, everything is controlled, so it's not like after a fight or outside of the venue that I'm trying to make a problem with you. It's just me when we get in that ring and those doors locked and the ref say "Are you ready?" I'm ready. So just got to be ready for what I'm about to hit you with.
Got to be ready for what he's about to hit you with January 20th as Kameeko Hall fights Earl McKinney at NFC Fight Night 152 at Monday Night Garage. Now, Kameeko, first time fighting for the National Fighting Championship, man. What have you heard, seen, felt from this promotion?
Man, I've actually seen a lot from you guys because I've before I got into MMA, I did my research on me doing MMA and what promotion and everything that I wanted to get into. So I wanted to fight in Georgia, but for at the time, Atlanta was a stretch to get to, and I seen that most of you guys promotions and your fights are in Atlanta, and I was like, I know I probably couldn't get to there at that time. So I was trying to see what was the next best promotion that I could get to that was closer, and Combat Night was having an event in either Orlando or Jacksonville, and I was like, well, that's only like 3 hours away rather than 4 or 5, and I took that opportunity pretty much. But I've seen a lot from you guys, and me and Jesse have talked probably like 5 or 6 times in the past year or so. So we've been in touch, and I've wanted to fight with you guys a few times, but I was just trying to line up fights with Combat Night and made sure I had fights with them. And when fights would fall through, I would try to hit up Jesse and get on the card. But it was just the timing. It was just the timing, and now it's just the perfect time. And I'm glad I get to show some more fans in Georgia some of what a 912 down South Georgia boy can do.
Yeah, man. We look forward to seeing what old country boy from Brunswick can do, man. Now you're fighting for a new promotion. You just said it, like you look forward to showcasing your skills in front of a new fan base. But does that bring a little extra emotions or the anxiety before you make that walk?
Nah, I clear my mind. I already meditate and do yoga a good bit, so I just make sure that I have a clear mindset before I go into anything. Just because you can't bring emotions into fighting, just because, like I said, it's controlled violence. It's an art form, and you bring your emotions into the cage, then you're bound to lose, or you never know what can happen. So I try to make sure that I'm in a clear mind state before I do anything. Especially me leading up to being a professional. I've been taking the last bit of my amateur career pretty seriously. So no, I'm not taking anything emotionally or anything. Just staying focused.
Are you expecting to have a big crowd? Like a lot of people from Brunswick come?
I'm hoping to have a good bit of people from Brunswick come, but I have a good bit of family in Atlanta already, so they'll be there for sure. And I'm getting some shirts made and everything, so hopefully you guys see some Wild Child shirts in the stands. And if I don't have anybody there, I guarantee you, as soon as they see that first round, they're gonna be a fan after that, and everybody gonna be cheering for me if they're not already.
First of all, let me get a shirt. I wear a size
Oh yeah,
medium, so just make sure, like, I'll be there, bruh. I'll be there. I'll make sure I say Wild Child and everything when I introduce you. But just have me a shirt to the side. That's all I gotta ask. What are you walking out to?
I still haven't decided yet, to be honest, just because that's probably like one of the last things. Whenever they hit me up, then I probably take a day or two to decide the song. But the song is literally, like I said, that's like the last thing that I think about, just because I'm just making sure that I'm properly prepared so I can make sure I hit my goals during this fight.
I'll say, Trace Harper, I see you there. We'll get to you in about 10 minutes or so. So I see you in the portal there. But you're also, Kameeko, you're also the B2 champion right now. It looks like you won that back in early last year. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. B2 135-pound champion.
And that was down in Macon. Have they looked to you to defend that title or anything like that? Or do you even think
I
there'll
was
be a defense?
I was supposed to defend it. I think that was back in August, and the opponent ended up getting injured. And it was just, I'm not really sure what happened, but it's just like we haven't really been in touch since. I've been trying to hit them up to see whenever they would want me to defend it. And that's why I was trying to do it out of respect before I went to another promotion to try to defend my belt. But it's just that we haven't been in contact. So I was like, I want to fight in Georgia again. So I hit up NFC and got this stringed up and hopefully get a string of fights with you guys and see what happens next after that, because hopefully we're looking at pro after a few more fights or whatever my coaching team wants to do.
And I've talked about Mitchell with Combat Night before. I love the guy. I don't know how much you got to interact with him. Looks like you fought for Combat Night 3 or 4 times. What did you like most about Combat Night? Their production, their venue, like what really did it for you?
The hospitality and everything, man. Those guys over there are great. I started my amateur. I had a pretty rocky started amateur career, but that was just because I was doing it on my own. But believe it or not, those guys reached out after one of my fights. I ended up fighting the guy from Fusion Excel. That's one of the gyms that I train at now. And I ended up meeting Mitchell and the guys there, and Mitchell opened up his home to me and everything, and I stayed with him for a few times throughout my camps. And man, those guys really took good care of me over there and made sure that I was great over there. And it was a really great promotion to fight for. And not to say that I'm done fighting for Combat Night, but it just feels good to fight in my home state, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny. I think people don't realize how many fighters I've had live with me over the course of the last 20 years, stay with me time to time, and I know Mitchell has as well. One other guy, he was a pro fighter, kind of little guy. I can't remember his name, but when he fought for us, he was also lifting with Mitchell at the
Cleveland
time.
McLean.
Cleveland, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I like
boy.
Cleveland. I like Cleveland. I like Cleveland. I remember Cleveland. Cleveland was cool as hell.
Sir.
Mitchell just needs to get like a 2-car garage with bunk beds in his house or something like that for you guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's a fighter house right there, man. Yeah, those guys
Kameeko, like talking about Mitchell allowing, like opening his doors to you, man. Like as a young man from Brunswick, Georgia, man. Like, what does that mean to you, just to have somebody like that, like gives a damn about you, man, and like wants to see you succeed?
Man, for me that means everything. Just because at that time, like I said, I was losing. I think I was 1-2 or 1-3 as a fighter. Whenever he let me come over there to start trying to train and train correctly as a fighter, it just opened my eyes to everything and let me know that I can do this and that this is not something that I should give up on or anything. And it really molded me so far. And those things that I brought back home to my home gym here in Georgia and everything, and that I have my guys here doing too. And you know, we're slowly but surely growing here. So I really appreciate those guys for that strong, very strong, solid beginning right there with Mitch at Combat Night.
That's a beautiful thing, man. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Kameeko Hall joining us here on NFC Now podcast. Kameeko, you said you're in Brunswick. You're in Brunswick, Georgia, and like, what is there a large MMA community out there? Like, what does that look like exactly?
Down south down here, no sir, not really. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get it cranking down here. They have a little guns down, gloves up promotion and everything, but you know how that goes. That's kind of closer to backyard boxing and everything. But I try to snatch the guys that look like they're worth training, that or they're at least interested in training, and I promote on my Snapchat and Instagram and, every now and then, just to try to get people who want to come through the gym and just try to teach them a thing or two and just see if they stick with it and whatnot. But it's not really huge down here, so I really just go to the high school. Our wrestling team is #1 in the state right now, so that's my alumni, Brunswick High School. I go there and train wrestling, and I go to Devon Jiu-Jitsu and train Jiu-Jitsu, but I have a boxing gym here. So that's pretty much how I get my work in down here while I'm home.
Outside of training, man, like how are you able to make ends meet? Like, are you doing anything else? You working?
Yeah, actually during the day I'm an electrician. I'm an electrician during the day, so that's pretty much what I'm doing. And then I train early morning, and then I train after I get off work at night.
I respect that, man. A lot of sacrifices going into you chasing your dreams, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just my daughter will actually be here this week. My son turns 6 Thursday, but I have a daughter that'll be here this upcoming week. We get induced tomorrow, so I have a new baby girl here soon. So that'll be another challenge, So it's fun though. It's fun.
What's her name?
Her name is Kaylin.
Kaylin. How you spelling it?
Kaelyn.
Wow. Beautiful. Congratulations, man. Much respect. I really hope that all that goes well. What's your son's name? I'm sorry.
His name is Caden.
Caden and Kaylin?
Yeah.
Respect,
Yeah.
brother. Respect, man.
My oldest dog was named Dash. I'm not too intelligent, so my new dog is named Cash. You seem like a man like me. Makes it easy. When I meet people from small towns, whenever I meet people from small towns, I always ask them like why they stay in that small town. For you as a fighter, that there's not a lot of fight scene down there. What keeps you staying down in Brunswick?
Right now for me it's family. Like I said, I went down there to Orlando, Florida for a bit, which is like that's the second home to me. That's second home to me now. But it's just like I said, I have another kid here, and it's just family, and like I said, I've been an electrician for about 3 years now, and that's my 9 to 5 while I'm fighting amateur right now to support myself and my family. So until I go pro and get a good one of these big contracts, then it's just staying down and making sure that I do the right things to take care of my family, as a man. So.
And on January 20th for the NFC, how do you see you versus Earl going for the title? I mean, have you watched his videos? What do you think of him?
Yeah, I've actually studied him a good bit since you guys offer him. Well, Jesse offered him to me in October. He offered him to me maybe like September and for the October event, and I ended up trying to take a fight with Combat Night, and I had ended up getting an injury where I couldn't take that fight. So I had been studying him since then. But from what I've seen, as long as I pace myself, and I'm kind of a high pace fighter, and as long as I keep my high pace hitting hard and come out strong, I feel like I can finish this fight within 3 rounds. But I'm a smart fighter at the same time. So, if he's taking my shots or trying to wrestle me, then I know I can just use my wrestling jiu-jitsu and just be smart, get a good ground and pound to submission. But I do see myself finishing this fight because I don't need no judges.
And it's actually a 5-round fight. It's for the title. Looks like you've
Yep.
only gone 3 rounds in the past. Does that
Yep.
change your game plan going in at all?
No sir, no sir. I train the fight to the last bell, so it don't matter to me if it was a 20-round fight. We gonna fight till somebody drop, and it ain't gonna be me.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Earl McKinney was on last week, man. The question was posed like if Kameeko was sitting right here, what would you say to him? Now the question's gonna be posed to you, man. I'm Earl McKinney, man. What you wanna say to me?
January 20th. Keep your hands up, because you're gonna get dropped. That's it. I don't got to do too much talking.
I love it, man. I love it. We definitely look forward to watching you get out here and compete, man. Kameeko Hall. Now, I guess this is your formal introduction to the NFC community. We appreciate you for taking time. And it's dark outside, but I can't lie. He's pretty damn well lit, isn't he?
Yes, sir.
I was going to make a joke earlier that in my email it says be in a well-lit location, quiet, and he's an electrician, and he's outside in the dark. So I was going to make a joke earlier, and I wasn't going to go there.
Like I said, I'm down south, man. I live in the country, man. My service out here sucks, so I was like, I got to go outside by the dirt road where the service the best at. So
you really live on a dirt road in the country like that?
Yeah, man. We get it. We grind out here. Got pigs, got horses. We grind out here. We country boys for real. That's why I said I'm gonna bring that belt back to the 912, man.
Bring a pig. You'll be the first fighter to ever walk out with a pig.
I ain't that wild now.
Wild child. Bring a shirt too, a size medium.
Size medium. I got you, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Kameeko Hall. Kameeko, we wish you nothing but the best of luck on the 20th, man. Thank you for taking time to join us, and thank you for introducing yourself to the NFC community, man. Much love and respect.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
And before you go, congratulations on Kaylin, man.
Appreciate
All
it,
love.
Man. Appreciate it. You guys might meet her. I'm not sure. I'll let my girlfriend decide that. I'm not sure if she'll be coming yet, but I'll let you guys know.
Indeed, man. I look forward to seeing you. All right, brother?
All right. Peace out.
Peace out.
I was about to hit the remove button right when you kept talking. I was this close to it.
I felt you. You be on that buzzer, man.
Because I got short arms. You can kind of tell when I lean forward in my laptop.
Hey, I gotta show love to the kids. I gotta show love to the kids, man. That's always I really appreciate when people are able to and I ask that question strategically. I'm always curious about what people do outside of fighting, because he talks about he's an electrician. Quincy said he works with uniforms, and my man Jamal said he does security. I think it's always fascinating. You don't never know who's your local mixed martial artist that's walking around you on a day-to-day basis. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm glad to have jobs. When we were talking about the boxing show earlier, most of these boxers don't have jobs, which means a lot of things. But one thing it means to me is they got no fan base. Because if you have a job, you probably have a fan base for people you work with. They got a little money in their pocket. If you don't have a job, it means you hang out with other people that got no jobs and they got no money for a ticket.
That's real talk.
I like when fighters have normal jobs out there.
Yeah, I think it's dope. I think it's real, and you know, I think it's also telling. Some of the questions that you and I ask, you could tell who's selling tickets, and you could tell who's not selling tickets.
I
I'm
think
sure.
you're better. I think you're better than I am, though. Like at times, you're better.
What with what telling who's selling and who's not?
Making them say, the lines. What are you going to do on January 20th? If your opponent was listening, what would you tell him January 20th? That shit I'm not good at. You're better at that angle.
Oh yeah, no. What again? We complement each other, yin and yang, man. We come in with different vibes, but we get into the same thing. We're getting the questions answered that the people want to hear each and every Monday on NFC Now. I'm Julian Virgin. That is David Oblas.
He's got the fro. I'm going bald.
Are you really going bald for real?
Yeah.
Lean down.
We were talking about it. Because we're Jewish, we do a holiday party. We can't call it. Half my family is Jewish, half is Catholic. So we can't call it a Christmas party or a Hanukkah party. So we call it a holiday party. We did it Saturday. And I'm a little shorter than everyone else, as you know. So everyone's looking down like, damn, Dave, your bald spot's getting bigger and bigger right in the back. So, yeah, I'm either going to have to shave the whole thing off completely or start wearing more hats or something. But yeah,
do they call it, is it a yarmulke?
yarmulke? Yeah.
Why don't you wear your yarmulke?
I've never been to bar mitzvah. I'm not that Jewish. And that's really for like the big time Jews, like the big Jews. So, yeah.
So full disclosure, we live in like North Druid Hills, like Toco Hills area. And like there's a whole Orthodox Jewish community literally right down the block. Like I can go to Publix right now. You'll see people with the yarmulke, and then they got like the strings hanging from their pants.
Yeah.
What are those called?
I have no idea.
Cause I'm the type. I'm such a journalist. I'll be outside like making a run. I remember a couple weeks ago I was out making I was like running, and then like I was just so curious because like it's a Orthodox community, and I stopped one lady and I was like, hey, I just have some questions. She was like, stranger danger for real. Then I talked to another brother, like a dude. He was like more than happy just to talk to me about what was going on and answer some of my questions. I didn't ask him about the strings though, but it is an Orthodox community. And he's like, look, there's nothing wrong with us wanting to live amongst the people that share the same values as us. And I was like, that's dope. But I see, you mentioned Hanukkah a couple of times, man, but I don't see a yarmulke on you.
It is funny. I say I'm going bald, and you tell me I should wear a yarmulke like an Orthodox Jew.
I ain't mean no disrespect, though. You know what I'm saying? It's all love.
It is funny seeing the comments now. Anthony Anderson called me Lil Dana White. Sean Corning said the future short Dana White shaved that shit. So it is funny. Yeah. I guess I do need to shave it and look like a make-believe Dana White, or as I call myself, Discount Dana.
I mean, hold on as long as you can, man. Hold on as long as you can. I see we got my man Trace in the queue laughing at all the good jokes here and only here on NFC Now. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome NFC 155-pounder, somebody coming off a big victory last time, Trace Harper. Trace, have we gotten a nickname for you yet, bro? What's up?
Yeah, man. They at my gym, I kick really fast, so they call me Hair Trigger Trace.
Ooh!
Yeah, I get head kicks up really quickly.
Hair Trigger Trace?
Mm-hmm.
And your hair looks good too, man. How you living?
It, man.
Go ahead, flip it one time, dog. Come on, man.
Nah, I'm gonna have to get a cut for a movie, bro. So it's gonna be going.
I want to start off, man. I'm gonna ask how your mom doing.
She's still sick. She's still fighting. We just got some bad news recently, but we have some treatment options available. So I'm praying and staying hopeful that things will work out.
Well, so are we. We're praying for you, as well as the whole NFC community. Y'all definitely make sure you go ahead and drop a comment for Trace's mom. Trace, what's your mom's name again?
Her name is Kelly Harper.
Y'all make sure y'all drop a comment and y'all drop a prayer for Miss Tracy Harper. We appreciate you just even being willing to share with us in that journey that you've been going on and y'all been going on, man. You always representing her, man. So I wanted to start with that because earlier in our show we were talking about cancer, and somebody dropped in the comment that your mom is a fighter. So we want to just make sure we pay our respects to her.
Yes, sir. Hopefully God helps in the ways He can. Yes, sir.
Indeed. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Trace Harper joining us here on NFC Now Pod. Thank you for joining us, man, amongst all the fighting that y'all are doing in your household, man. You got a big fight coming up against Quincy Evans Jr. coming up on January 20th. We always love to hear from you, man. We enjoyed you coming on before and after your last fight amongst the naysayers, and you got the job done. But now,
I was thinking, I thought he was going to whoop your ass. I'm honest as I can be. I thought Ryan Kimbrough was going to whoop your ass, and
You couldn't
I
have
was
been more
proven
wrong,
wrong.
brother.
That's why we do this.
Yeah.
That's why we do this. You got to fight.
I wasn't shy in telling you at that point in time. I was picking Ryan, and I was wrong. Good thing I didn't bet any money.
Yes, sir.
I am taking you. I like Quincy Evans. I like his gym, Jason Fagler, and those guys. I always mispronounce it. But I am taking Trace Harper this time. I've learned my lesson. I am taking you in this fight. I think myself or Jesse's going to wrap the belt on you. So,
yes, sir.
Hey, maybe I'll be proven wrong again. Maybe I won't. But you are my pick this time.
Good pick.
Trace, you made him a believer, man. Now you're fighting for that belt. You asked for the belt. It was actually supposed to be against another opponent, but he's out. Quincy Evans is in. Quincy Evans Jr., rather. How are you feeling as the 20th approaches?
Feeling good, man. My mom is motivating me. I'm more motivated than ever. She's fighting hard. I'm going to fight hard. I'm glad a belt's on the line because they offered me Quincy on short notice for an interim, and I declined. And then Jesse got right back with me and said it would be for the real one. So I'm glad it's coming up. It's been a long time coming.
I'm excited for you too, man, because I know how much you wanted the fight for the belt. Quincy Evans, we had him on a little earlier, man. What do you know about him? What are you looking forward to as you step into the cage?
I don't know much about him. I didn't know who he was until they offered me him. But I've done my research and I've gone through and watched some of his fights, and man, he's really skilled, man. He's a dangerous opponent. He's good wrestling, good striking. He's got all my respect.
Indeed, man. He has all your respect, man. But I know you're training with killers, man. Not only with Coach Chad down there at Independent MMA, man. I've been seeing you over there at ATT Team Lima, man. What's going on? Tell us, update us about your training schedule.
Yeah, man. I've been hitting the pro trainings over there at Team Lima, and those guys are the best in the state, man. Their training sessions are so incredibly hard. They will have me in shape, ready to fight. And then obviously Chad, he's the mastermind. He's like my second dad. So just been working at both gyms, working with, people at our gym, people at their gym, getting just great work all around.
Why ATT Team Lima? You could have went anywhere. That's a pretty damn far hike from Independent too.
Yeah, it's far as hell. But I kind of got to a point where at my gym I was kind of the level I was at. I wasn't getting the training I needed. I was kind of levels above the people around me, and I needed to get my ass whooped again. So. And I knew who trains there and what kind of killers they got. So I'm going there to get my ass whooped now. So
a part of me, I can't even lie, man. Just me being me. I was like, I'm happy to see you training with them, but I'm also like, damn, that also eliminates a lot of future matchups off the table, being that you are training with killers, man. Is that something that you thought about or considered?
It has. There are some guys there that I could possibly fight. But I mean, at the end of the day, like. My amateur career is coming to an end soon. So once I turn pro, I'm looking to fight guys in other states, nationally, wherever MMA takes me. I'd prefer to train with the local fighters and fight them. But I mean, I hope no name gets offered, but I don't see myself fighting anyone, but I prefer to be training partners with these guys. They're fucking monsters.
Respect. You just celebrated your 21st birthday. Happy belated.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
I know last time Dave joked that you couldn't have a drink at Monday Night Garage following your win. Now we could actually have a drink.
Well, you could. I just couldn't. I couldn't know about it.
Yeah. How'd you celebrate, brother?
I was in the gym, man. I was in the gym. We got a big fight coming up, so.
Boring.
Hey, we'll celebrate January 20th. Yeah.
We'll celebrate January 20th, man. Last time you walked out to Mobb Deep Shook Ones, man.
Yes, sir.
And that did something for me. Me being in the cage and just feeling that, man, that did something for me. Why that song? And can we expect you walking out to that again?
I'm undecided because I've been thinking about maybe EA because I'm coming back in Atlanta, and I just feel like EA would just set the tone for my. But yeah, no, that whole fight camp, I was really listening to a lot of Mobb Deep, and it just kind of the vibe of it. Like, I don't know. They were 19 when they wrote that, so I felt like, they were young killers. That's what I felt like, as a young killer. So I was like, that's the vibe walking out.
I'm going to show my age here and my whiteness. I have no idea who you were just talking about, and I got no idea who EA is. Who is that?
He don't know nothing about no young nudie. Yeah. He don't know nothing about no young nudie.
I'm going to have to YouTube it after this. I'm going to look at EA. I'm writing that down. EA.
It's
like
hard.
The letter E, the letter A?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. EA.
Yeah, but Mobb Deep shook ones, like you've heard it before. Like it came, Dave. Like you probably heard it when you were at Auburn.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I mean, I did have Archie Eversole walk me out for mine. I mean, so I'm pretty out there. So yeah, I'll check.
I mean, hold up. Let me be fair. You've seen 8 Mile, right?
Me?
Years ago. Yeah, years ago.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you've seen 8 Mile too, Trace. I know you've seen 8 Mile, right?
Yes, sir.
Like they were singing that in 8 Mile with Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
Shook Ones is a hip hop classic.
It's a banger.
It's a banger. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Trace Harper joining us here on NFC Now ahead of his title fight at NFC 152 at Monday Night Garage against Quincy Evans Jr. David.
I was going to say, let's actually show how you got in this place. We've got a 45-second video of you beating Ryan Kimbrough in the fight that I guessed incorrectly. So let's check that out and see your thoughts.
A lot at the amateur level, as guys are figuring it out, as we talked about earlier, it's just that distance control. A lot of these strikes being thrown from out of range.
Both these guys are just so athletic, too. As soon as Kimbrough was just a little too close, Trace Harper jumped on the opportunity and got that body lock, got him to the ground. He is under no illusions that he's trying to brawl this one out with Ryan Kimbrough.
Tough position here for Ryan. Now you see, looks like full back control. He's trying to, we can't see him here, but it looks deep.
That is a bad one.
He is belly down, controlling the waist. Oh, that is deep, and that is
it, folks. That is it. Second round going to Trace Harper.
What a big win for Trace Harper, ending the undefeated streak of Ryan Kimbrough.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to point out two things. First, you were making the belt sign right after that fight. You knew the belt was coming up next. And second, you jumped with ease onto the top of the cage. I couldn't get up there with a 6-foot ladder.
Lessons of being over 6 foot. God bless.
I hate to say it, but that just looked simple. It looked like you dominated Kimbrough. I don't want to say an easy time with him, but the submission didn't come out of nowhere. It was going that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started to beat on him, and once I started to beat on him, he started panicking, and that's when he rolled over and turned to his belly. I told my coach backstage, I said, once I get my hands on him, I'm gonna take him down, and he's either gonna lay on his back and do some jiu-jitsu with me, or he's gonna give up his back trying to get up. In the first round, he tried to do jiu-jitsu with me, and he realized none of his submissions were going off like he thought they would. I was shutting all the submissions down. And I was just mauling him, staying on top of him, trying to make him tired, get his arms full of blood. And that second round, he knew he couldn't lay on his back because he would lose the round again. So he gave up his back trying to get up. And I mean, it's just jiu-jitsu, man. It's beautiful.
Now, we had Quincy Evans Jr. on a little earlier, man. He was sporting his high school wrestling shirt, man. He's a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Does that change your game plan?
No, not at all.
Are you coming to wrestle or are you coming to strike?
That's bad. No, I'm just kidding. I'm coming to wrestle. I'm coming to wrestle, man. That's the easiest way to win. Take him down and choke him out. But, I mean, y'all haven't seen it. I mean, I know y'all think I'm not a wrestler. I did not wrestle in high school. I did not wrestle in middle school. Any wrestling I've learned has been in the gym. My base is boxing. So if the takedown's not there, and if I got to strike with this dude for 5 rounds, we can bang shins for 5 rounds. But I want to be on top of him. I want to be ground and pound. I want to take his neck. So game plan's the same. Take down, finish him.
It's always crazy. I'll look at guys' records to see where they fought, ask them what they think about other promotions and stuff like that. I actually just realized it for the first time. Every single one of your fights has been in the NFC, all 5 of them.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I always like when guys fight in other organizations so we can see what you think of them and also see, I hate to say this as cockily as it's going to come off, but to see as good as we do, as good as we prepare and organize and make things easy for you guys. At what point in time have you been to other shows, the corner guys or anything like that?
No, sir. I've only ever been involved with NFC.
Damn, you're like our spokesperson. We're gonna have to make you that after you get a haircut.
I when I was younger, when I was 15, 16, 17, my teammate Jabril Malik was fighting in the 155 division, winning the belt. And I used to always come to his fights to support him. And I was just like, man, I cannot wait to fight in NFC. Like, I've always had love, and I always wanted to be with y'all. I've been offered a few fights up in Tennessee, but I mean, nothing really interested me. So, and like fighting for y'all, it's like our local community. Like beating, like we all know we kind of know who trains, who doesn't. So it's cool, like making noise locally.
Yeah. And you've beaten a couple, you lost a couple of ATT guys, D'Angelo Roberts and Jalen McDaniel, but then you beat Drew Ball and then Ryan Kimbrough. That was obviously your biggest win out there.
I believe I beat Jalen personally. I won. So I don't consider that one a loss. I consider my only real loss to be to D'Angelo, but it's all love to Jalen. I was actually with him this morning getting work in. So
I was about to ask if you've seen him at all.
Yes, sir. We've been in the gym. He's been helping me get ready for. He got me ready for Ryan. He's helping me get ready for this next one.
And then the D'Angelo fight, didn't you break your collarbone on like the first exchange?
My shit snapped on the first double leg. I've been taken down 1,000 times, and I don't know why my shit snapped. And once I got up, I realized I couldn't throw a right hand, and my coach no one knew my shit was broken, so I got back to the corner, and they were like, "Yeah, we're not sending you."
No, I knew it was broke as soon as it happened, man. So are you on like the Sean O'Malley program where when I read your record, you just gonna do one of these?
I mean, D'Angelo beat me, but I feel if I ever fought him, I would whoop his ass. I mean, I trained with him after, dude. I mean, we fight 10 times, I win 9 of those fights, so I have a lot of confidence going into my next fight.
And I love your confidence, man. I love the way that you handle your stuff, man, on a day-to-day basis, man. I'm a fan of you, Trace. I'm a fan of you. I really hope that we're able to see Miss Tracy at the next fight too.
Her name Kelly. I'm sorry.
Why I'm looking at Trace. I'm really hoping that we can see Miss Kelly at the next fight too, man. Like seriously, because I really love the way that each and every time that you go out there, you represent her, and you always give her you give God and you give her the glory, man. So like, I'm really excited to see Miss Kelly next time when you go out there and step out there and fight for that belt, because I know you're fighting for more than just the belt.
So I'll be walking out there with that flag wrapped around me. Absolutely.
Trace,
that's the plan. Hand the belt to her right after.
I'm excited to see that, man. That gives us all something to root for. Now, Trace,
you want her to put the belt on you?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Handle your business and we can make it happen. That's a deal?
Absolutely.
You made a believer in David Oblas. Now he's like, okay, what you want? What you want? You want the keys to the city? You got them, right?
I'm gonna get one of those Justin Bieber shirts made that said "Belieber."
That's hilarious, man. Trace, man. Final thought, something on your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul. It doesn't even have to be fighting related that you want to leave the NFC community with.
Check in on your parents, man. You never know. You never know. Tell them you love them. Tell the people you love that you love them, and stay positive. And
can we do like an air hug, man?
Yeah, bro, air hug.
I'm loving on you, man. You know, you know the love. You know what it is, Trace, man. For you, your dad, and your mom, man. We appreciate you for taking time to join us this evening. For you being so vulnerable and so open to share with us what y'all are fighting with. We ask that the entire NFC community, y'all go ahead and make sure that y'all, all of our prayer warriors in the NFC community, y'all get to working for Miss Kelly, and we look forward to seeing her and you continue to fight on January 20th as you face Quincy Evans Jr. for the NFC vacant lightweight title. Trace Harper, we appreciate you joining us tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you, boys.
Respect.
Thank y'all.
Man, that's just the new poster boy. I didn't even realize all 5 fights for the NFC. He loves the NFC. I'm gonna have to make some commercials with him or something.
Just for you to bet against him. Just for you to bet against him, man.
It doesn't matter who you bet against. It was funny seeing all the UFC gambling stuff going on right now. I don't know
you see that? Isn't that pretty interesting?
Yeah, that is crazy. So,
it's
a good thing we don't have gambling legal here in Georgia. I don't have to worry about that.
I was gonna ask you, like, are there like lines on some of these fights?
There's not. So there's this jiu-jitsu company called Fight to Win. And I'm going to make fun of them because they're sketchy as fuck. A couple people, they won't even pay out. So they're Fight to Win. They also do this gambling Fight to Win where you can bet on them. And they open up odds on all the fights. And you can bet anything with them. UFC, boxing, football, baseball, whatever with them. But when they came to Georgia for a jiu-jitsu event like 2 years ago, myself and several other guys, I'm not going to say who I was tipped off by because I don't want to reveal his name out there, but we had a pretty knowledgeable jiu-jitsu guy that told us every fight that was going to win in the jiu-jitsu. We were betting trifectas, everything. We probably made like 60 bets. You can only bet like $10 each or $12 on each match, but we went whatever we bet, 40-0 that night. Every single one we won on, and he eventually paid me out. He only would cash at me like $300 a week, once a month, and I had to just bug the hell out of him to get my money out of it. And the other guy, he wouldn't pay for like 6 months. He said, I can't remember the term he used, but he's like, you and too many guys bet the same exact matches and you all won. I'm not paying out. And the guy was like, well, if we all lost, I'm sure you take our money, and you took our money at the beginning, so you're going to pay us out, or we're going to call, the government and this and that. So I did MMA odds with him a couple times. And he just basically asked me, like, how would you level this fight? Small, medium, or large as far as the odds? And I sent him my picks or whatever for our NFC fights, and people bet on them. And after doing that like once or twice, I was like, there's no monetary benefit to me. I don't even know if this is legal or not. It's based in Costa Rica. So I was like, I'm getting out of here. It just sounds sketchy to me. So.
It doesn't, yeah. I mean, one thing I'm learning just by like covering martial arts is it's like the betting thing is pretty damn serious, and like people, they do make a lot of money. And whenever you watch UFC, they always have the live odds posted, and like it's something that like I feel like if I did bet, I guess I'm just a little frugal. Like I don't like losing my money, especially as like I'm not gonna do it. But if I did, I feel like I'd be pretty damn good at it because I feel like I'm analyzing it, but I'm just interested to see what that would look like on a local basis. However, I will say the reason why I don't ever call fights, especially on the pod, if we cool, I might tell you my raw thoughts off of air, but I would never call a fight on air because I want to make sure that I don't have to dish out any apologies on air. Like, I'm sorry I bet against you. You know what I'm saying?
I think it makes more fun. It's like talking junk. I think the odds, I think they've proven that gambling helps the sport. Like people that gamble on NFL or whatever, they tend to watch the sporting events more. They tend to go to the sporting events more. Even with UFC, it just gets people more interested if you're gambling on it. So I love gambling. I don't gamble at all. I wish it was legal here in Georgia, and I probably would do it a lot more. I'd probably be broke as hell if I did it. But I think it would. I think it would help the NFC grow if people could legalize gambling on it. I'm surprised at the live fights there's not guys walking around with buckets and stuff like that, placing odds right there and getting money. I'm surprised we've never seen that. Like that would be.
That's actually a really fascinating idea. I feel like that would add a whole different element to the fight night, and maybe an element that maybe you don't even want, because that just like when people about their money and like a fight, and it's like the fight is fixed, and they start getting into the judges and the refs, and maybe that might not be something that you want. But I do think that if people were passing around a bucket betting on some of these fights, just imagine if like there was a bet between that Lewis Brewington versus Wesley Sullivan fight. That would have been a hell. Like you thought that was chaos then. Just imagine if money was put up on that one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I do see it at the tables every once in a while. Like when I walk by the tables, I'll see like a little bit of cash on each table, like nothing major. Like, if it's a table of 8, each guy bets $1 on every fight or something like that. I see that in the middle of the tables at the fights. But yeah, I want to see some tables bring big old stacks of cash. I want to walk around and see, $1,000 on every table between fights. I think that would make it fun.
Yeah, man, we'll get some strippers in there. We'll make it work.
Is that to take the money?
I mean, you said big old stacks of cash. We are in Atlanta. That is legal, right?
We did do the Pink Pony fight. I didn't see a lot of stacks of cash out there for that.
I mean, because they weren't outside busting it.
Yeah.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on NFC Now. I'm Julian Virgin. That's David Oblas. David, before we part ways this evening, some overview of today's show, man. What you think?
I think it's fun. We should have ragged on Trace for being 45 minutes late on dial-in. We forgot to do that on him. It was supposed to be 7:45, but yeah, it's cool seeing some of the guys that aren't the huge ticket sellers in Atlanta, aren't the huge A side. Quincy Evans from down in Savannah, a couple hours away. Jamal Johnson from Baltimore, Kameeko Hall from Brunswick. So usually, we only feature, I don't want to call them the A side, but the local Atlanta guys. So I think it is good to hear from their opponents every once in a while. I think you and I have talked about we have a couple of dead weeks coming up at the end of December, January. I think shows we've talked about is having people recap jiu-jitsu for the year, recap MMA, start predicting our awards and stuff like that. Someone just corrected me and said Quincy is from Augusta. I think I said Savannah, so I apologize.
Yeah, I messed that up the first time too. So you blame that on me because I did say that.
Yeah. Okay, so Quincy from Augusta, I apologize. But yeah, either, future shows recapping the year in MMA and jiu-jitsu, have Clay Bennett tell us about jiu-jitsu, maybe Nate Mann tell us about jiu-jitsu. MMA, obviously, you got to punt the Jesse Wable, of course, and go over what we think of the knockout of the year, sub of the year, event of the year, fight of the year, all stuff like that. Another cool episode I haven't talked to you about that I want to do is kind of have the OGs of fighting on here. I've thought of a couple names, 3 or 4 or 5 names of people just to tell stories about what they've seen the last 15, 20 years and kind of talk to the newer guys in MMA and jiu-jitsu of just stuff they've gone through. And, I was thinking of Adam Singer, Rory Singer, Matt Waller, a couple other names that you might not even have met out there yet. But just as we title the OGs, maybe even a George Allen, like that, I think that would be a huge conversation with these guys and just joke and tell stories from the old days.
I think we could sit there and talk for an hour with George Allen because I've talked to George Allen multiple times during these shows, man, and he's a talker for sure. He's a talker for sure.
And he hasn't been around for a while.
Yeah. I know he has a story, and I believe he lost a son, man. That's tragic. I would really love an opportunity not only to talk to George Allen, but a lot of the other refs that you have on. I don't know, if that's a conflict of interest, but I think we should have a full ref show because there's a lot of refs that when we're at these shows, me being in my position as an announcer and or as somebody just interviewing, it's like the amount of conversations that we have with these people, I don't think people understand how much dialogue that we're having with them throughout the show. And me, I'm a talker, and so I'm talking about everything. Let's just say if I see something in a fight, I'll go after the fight as I get into the cage, as the decision is being cultivated, I'll ask a question okay, why did you call this like this? And we'll talk through things. And I would love to have a Jimmy Neely on the show, or Brett McKinnon, or Brian Kemp.
You better say his name because he's been asking to be on it. He's been bugging me to be on it.
Yeah, no, I think we should. Who? Brian?
Big Nate. Nate's been bugging me to be on the podcast.
We gotta have Nate on the show. No, we seriously. I feel like we're doing a disservice to the NFC community not to have Northside Nate on the show.
Yeah,
seriously,
so we're getting Northside Nate on there.
I think we need to have a show with people that are seriously, especially during our off time, man. I would love a show where we just able to talk to some of the people that are in the the third person in the cage, some of those decisions to stop certain fights. Sometimes it's you'll stop the fight. Other times it's you kind of stopped that a little early, or it's what the hell was that? And again, being in my position, I'm privy to a lot of these conversations that are happening between the refs and the commission, and hearing that, and it's kind of the drama, and just okay, what'd you think about that? What'd you think? I would love to have them on the show to talk that. And I'd be remiss on this show, as we're damn near almost 2 hours in, not to shout out Jose Santiago and his brother for a successful surgery, man. It looks like that everything went super smooth with the kidney transplant from one brother to another. We just send out our prayers and just gratitude to their family for that being a successful procedure. We look forward to having Jose on the show here soon. I know his retirement was abrupt, but we understand why, because he was dealing with things that are, with respect to the NFC, bigger than the NFC, which is his health and his life and his family. And so happy that his procedure went well. And then shout out to him for keeping us all updated on social media about what he's been going through. So look forward to having him on the show. Again, I would love to have the referees on the show to talk what they talk. And to follow up what you just said too, man, I do think it's important. I got to shout you out because you were in charge of all the guest bookings this week on today's show. as we rip behind the scenes and let everybody know what's really going on. David was in charge of everybody that got on the show today and reaching out to them. I thought it was really dope that we had some of those quote unquote B-side guys on the show. And we say that respectfully, man, because I guys that aren't from Atlanta, because, we could root for our Atlanta guys, but it's also important for us to know the other guys too, because look, it's a 50-50 fight. Lord knows if they're going to win or lose. And so us knowing and getting to know their opponents is so important. And I think, just even by viewing the comments, people are excited to see a Jamal Johnson go in there because he looks like he's psychotic. You know what I'm saying? And I say that with respect, but it's like,
you say that as positive as possible.
I say that as positive as possible because I promise you, I want no smoke with Jamal. He from Baltimore. He got it. You got it, brother. But it's just like, okay, we saw Akeem last week. Now we see Jamal. And it's like, all right, cool. We got a Trace Harper on, man. Shout out to him and his mom because, like that's a real story. Like those are the stories that I'm always fishing for. Like people's why. Like why are they doing that? Trace just went to a different gym to train because he said last time he was on the pod, he said like, look, this is my life. I'm dedicating my life to martial arts. This is what I'm doing. And now, we hear about his mom and her fight. And like, I'm interested to see how that goes. And I know just from my perspective as just the announcer, like I'm more interested in what's going on. I can only imagine just as a fan of the as a part of the NFC community, some of these stories being told is just it just draws our interest. It's just like it's like betting. When you put your money up on something, now you're more interested. But like when you're able to hear somebody's story and understand what they do on a day-to-day basis, you're more interested. And so that's why I think that what we do each and every Monday starting at 7:00 is so important here on NFC Now because we're able to tell the stories of the fighters, of soon to be the judges that come on, that are part of the show, and the people that surround the NFC community, man. So I thought today was a beautiful show. Shout out to you, Dave.
Yeah, I think next week we definitely look for the referee show. I think I'll work on either the referee show or the OG. I think that's two different shows right there. I personally think both are dope ideas. I like the behind the scenes. I like the stories and stuff like that. January 20th is a far way away. Even our show, January 6th in Dothan, Alabama, we're not going to delve into that too much on this show. Maybe we'll have a guest or two. I think Warren Smith is our main event in Dothan, Alabama. He's fought for us many times here in Atlanta. He was our main event, I think, down in, Macon down there, I want to think. So he's definitely fought for us a few times. So Warren Smith will be the main event or co-main event in Dothan. I think as of right now, he's the only Atlanta guy on the card. Well, him and Peter New out of Columbus. But yeah, I absolutely think that's on our next two shows, the OGs and the referee. And we're talking about the OGs. There's the future G.
Hi.
Hi. Second week in a row, we've closed it out with.
I'm listening to you, man. We hear you.
When I did the final thought, it makes her head, so I'm going to take that away.
Word. She wanted to tap in my little twin, Sarai. I definitely co-signed the OG show and the ref show, and whoever else wants to come on the pod, man. We do this each and every Monday evening.
Right now we got the future G. That's the future G.
Yeah, we got a future G. She's saying check 1 2 because she always sees us testing. Ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate y'all for tuning in to NFC Now. David, hey, on behalf of our family, man, we appreciate you, man, for just showing us love, especially during this time. As Trace said, and this goes out to the entire NFC community. As Trace said, man, call your parents, tell them that you love them because you just don't never know. Seriously. Sarai, say bye-bye. Say peace.
Peace. Bye.
Peace. Next time, y'all. Y'all hold it down.